is Phuc Ta.
Good to meet you, Phuc.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Good morning. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for coming this morning, sir. I'd like to ask you a question. What role has your family played in shaping the person that you are today?
Well, my family has impacted my life a lot because my mom and dad, they showed me what suffering really is because they told me their stories about how their life was. They lived in the Vietnam War during its entire expanse. So they suffered from all the food shortages to my dad having to fight against his own countrymen. This horrible civil war. And so I saw what my parents had to suffer, and so that made me stronger because I saw that they've given me a life now in the United States that is without suffering. And because of that, I want to show that I can be successful. I want to achieve success so that in return I can help my parents in the future so that they don't have to work as hard, so that they can at least enjoy what is left of their life without all the fear of not having food, without fear of dying. That's one of the reasons my parents have affected me. But in other words, my parents have given me the idea of what hard work really is. They survived the Vietnam War, so this isn't what we have now is really nothing compared to that. So why, if they can succeed, why can't I?
Okay. How has academic decathlon impacted you?
Academic decathlon has impacted me in many, many ways. Personally, I've grown from a very shy, timid person to someone who's capable of speaking in public, someone who's been able to make many friends from all over the place, and someone who's been able to develop extremely strong bond with the team that I have now. This decathlon team has shown me that the friendships I've made here in decathlon will last me way after my just ordinary high school friendships end. And then socially, decathlon has made me a more able person to communicate with others. I've made friends with some other people on other decathlon teams when I was at regionals. That's very impacted me. That's something I wouldn't have done before. Then academically, at first I was afraid that decathlon would be difficult for me to maintain my level of grades, but then decathlon actually has made it much easier than it was before because I've been able to study much more than I would be able before, and then the way I study. I've learned how to study from just reading notes, from now being able to study that, reading notes, highlighting as much as I can, just the method of me being able to study to my full extent to be successful.
Okay, you've talked about success a couple of times. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I want to see myself at Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee. This is because I want to become an anesthesiologist, and Vanderbilt University is the place that I feel will be the place that makes me successful. The first reason for this is that Vanderbilt University is a very small university in one of those country's larger cities, and this relationship between such a very small university and this huge gigantic place will create a better world. This small university will allow me to learn in my own environment with close connections to my professors, and yet I'm also able to interact around the world of Nashville with all its country music, and not just country, but all other sorts of music that make me feel that I want to be here. I want to experience what the world can be in Nashville, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt University. It's just the first step in my ability to explore the entire world.
What do you feel like is the most difficult event in academic decathlon?
My most difficult event, or say my most challenging event for me, is language and literature. And the first reason for this is that English wasn't my first language. So because of that, it's made it difficult for me to understand some of the concepts. English in itself is a very unique language, and it's not easy for someone who's learned Vietnamese and Chinese to suddenly shift his mind to learning English. But this challenge of language and literature, I've come to love it because literature, all those novels, all those poems out there have so many different meanings, and I want to experience what they mean and how authors write and that this way I can transform how I write, how I can become a better person, and how I can, let's just say, get some of those comical little hints that authors put in, or the secret meanings that other people can't understand. This way that, say that maybe I'm within a group of elite that can understand what other people say, even if it's not out in the open.
What do you feel is the greatest challenge facing our youth today?
I would say the greatest challenge facing our youth would be that most teenagers are slacking, that they refuse to engage themselves in what they can really be. Because I can see that in my high school, while we have the select few who can do things, who will do things, the other few don't see the point in doing anything at all. And that because of that, they don't see that they can make our world better and they can change our world. Just one person can, you can see it in the form of Bill Gates can make a huge impact on our world, and why can't, if Bill Gates can do that, why can't they? That's one of the reasons to see that teenagers raising. They don't want to do this, and so I'm a little saddened by it, but then again, that just means that I have to do something. I and my friends have to do something to compensate for this, because we can't let our world fall apart. Those who can and are willing to must be able to do their best so that our world doesn't fall like the Roman Empire did.
Okay, you mentioned something about music a while ago in Nashville. What's your favorite song? Doesn't have to be country music. What's your favorite song? And what message does that song deliver to you?
Of all the various musics I've listened to, I've really only listened to country music, which is a little strange for me. But my favorite song would have to be, it's Hillbilly Bone by Blake Shelton. Sorry. This song is just strange in that it's one of the most country like songs I've ever heard of. But the meaning is that just because you're in from New York, you're not a city slicker. You become down to, when you're going to the South, you experience what the Southern life is. You have this inner workings within you of just a true average person, of someone who's natural, someone who can experience all that you can be, from whether it's going out in bars, just having fun with friends, or just being able to listen to music calmly and peacefully in your own home. Hillbilly Bone by Blake Shelton has been heard in my life, because it's a song that I wouldn't expect from this era, because it was written in a time that we're all chaotic in our own world, and I feel that it's very unique in my life.
Thank you. I think that's all is it.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, sir.